Yeah, we're looking at what? We're looking at Kansas, the number one team in the country, Press. They're 5-0 against a 4-1 Duke team that's ranked number 11. Here's the thing, Teddy. If you listen to me over the years, and I know you've heard me say this before, I put more stock in college basketball in KenPom than the actual human voters in the poll. And right now, KenPom's got Duke ranked number 4 in the country, and they got Kansas at number 9. And Kansas is an average rebounding team at best. If you look at the rebound per rebounds for and rebounds against, Teddy, pretty even. And then you look at Duke, they're a plus 12 rebound per game differential. Also, Kansas, keep in mind, folks, we're looking at what the odds makers are deeming to be a close game and what many out there think will be a close game. What matters a lot in close games? Free throws. People undervalue free throw percentage in close matchups such as this. Kansas is only hitting 68.3% of their free throws. And when you get in a tight game down the stretch, that could be a huge factor. Duke is coming off an impressive win, Teddy, a 14-point win at Arizona, who's ranked by the humans at number 24. And their only loss came by 5 to number 8 Kentucky, who's 5-0, and a Kentucky team that not a lot of people thought were going to be up to snuff this year without Calipari, but boy, they have proven people otherwise in the first 5 games of the season. I'm going to take Duke here. I like Duke plus a 2.5. Obviously, I think Duke's going to win the game outright with a point spread this short. And so I think that Kansas is the more experienced team, but to me, Duke is the more talented team when it comes to their young guys in particular. So it's Duke for me, Teddy, plus 2.5 over Kansas.
So I want to ask you this, Ross. You referenced the KenPom numbers. And I just had an interesting conversation with a guy this week about KenPom in particular. And it's a guy I respect. We call him a wise guy here in Vegas. And he's like, the KenPom numbers early in the season are garbage. He's like, he made a really strong case against believing the KenPom. He's like, they're all based on last year. The full season stats for this year aren't real yet. And the KenPom numbers don't take into account any of the changes in the rosters. Have you seen any flaws with the KenPom numbers early in the season? Would you agree or disagree with that assessment?
I mean,
I just thought it was an interesting point to discuss.
Yeah. No, and it's a valid one, right, Teddy? But that goes across the board when you look at a team's statistics through 5 games against another team's statistics through 5 games. And then you got to measure strength of schedule. And yes, it's early and the whole 9 yards. But, you know, if that's the case, when I look at KenPom, they're almost spot on when it comes to what the current line is and what they have projected as a final score. Okay. Now, in this particular instance, KenPom's got Duke winning by 5. And I look at KenPom's stats, and when you look at the 3-point offense, 3-point defense, offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, the numbers don't lie there, you know? And it's all based on this year's results. Now, if we're talking about game 1 of the season, that's another story, okay, because there's nothing to go on. It's not a big sample size we're working with right now, but there's not a big sample size no matter how you handicap college basketball at this point. And I certainly trust them in terms of rankings and the raw numbers in terms of offensive, defensive efficiency, rebounding, turnover ratio, the whole 9 yards. I trust them a lot more than any other source when it comes to college basketball. So although the gentleman that you're referring to, and I respectfully, if he's a wise guy, he's earned that title, I don't fully agree with him on that point.